Baby Cakes. It's me again. And just coming to you with another artist who I absolutely love. I love her as a singer. I love her as a person. She's just a genuine, sweethearted person and extremely talented. She kind of puts me in the mind of, those artists who really, really, really feed your soul and your heart when you hear their music. Kind of like when you think of Stevie Wonder, you think of an artist who people not only identify with on the superficial level of him sounding really good, but who people can literally feel the love in every note that he sings and every word that he writes. Um, he just stands out apart from other great artists because his music literally feeds your soul, and to experience it sort of enlightens you in a sense. And when I first heard Chantae Cann, I honestly experienced that. I was just kind of like blown away, all the way blown away. And so I definitely want to introduce her to some of you who may not know who she is, and to those of you who've been emailing me or tweeting me about interviewing her. Just give you all an opportunity to know a little more about her. So, hi, Chantae.
Hi.
That was a long introduction. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. So, first and foremost, I told you I was going to get right into basically where you're from because that's a question that I got via email from a fan. I know you probably don't want me to call him a fan, but he is a fan.
Okay.
So where are you from? From here, Chicago?
Well, where you're from, sometimes I really don't even understand that question because it's like, where are you born? Where are you raised? Where are you now? So I'm going to give you all of those things. I was actually born in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
And not a lot of people know that because I was only there, till I was like 2 years old. Then my family moved to Chicago, South Side.
Okay.
I was there till I was about 13. And then my family moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And I've been there ever since. So I guess you could say I'm from Chicago because I don't really represent Ohio. I'm sorry if anybody's from Ohio. But yes, I do think of Chicago as my hometown and Atlanta, of course, as my home now.
Okay. So everybody who's trying to claim you in Atlanta and Chicago are kind of right.
Definitely.
That's hilarious. So, all right. So growing up, basically, what were your musical influences? Like, where did this come from? Do you come from a singing or musical family, or are you one of those people who are just blessed to sound like that for no apparent reason at all?
Well, okay, I can attribute a lot of my musical exposure to both my parents, but they both play really different parts. My mom, she could sing. She was in a group. She was in the Philharmonic Society when she was in college, and she played the saxophone. She also was my music teacher from about second grade to eighth grade.
Wow.
And at the school that I went to, which was kind of cool in some ways. Other ways, it was like, yikes.
Right.
I definitely learned a lot at a young age from her, just having her, and I always knew that I was somehow drawn to music, and I knew I had an infatuation with it at a young age, so I just kind of started experimenting with it. I was in the band, and my dad, he doesn't necessarily have the raw talent. He plays a little piano, but he doesn't sing really. But his musical collection is just like so diverse. He has everything from P-Funk to rock to TV to, just any kind of music that you can possibly think of. He has exposed me to the genres of just the whole entire world. So I think the raw talent from my mom and then the exposure to the diversity from my dad just kind of made it one big working circle of music, so to speak.
But usually when people play an instrument, they have an ear that's kind of a step above the rest of us people who just sing a little bit. So, do you play?
So ashamed to even say this because I feel like I should be so much further ahead than I am. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. I've been playing piano since I was little. I started out taking lessons. I took lessons for a good 2 years, and then I was like, I can't do the lesson thing anymore. Right. I had my ADD was just too horrendous, so I just kind of started doing my own thing, making up my own songs and stuff, which kind of, it freed up my creativity, but then it kind of stunted my growth as far as like studying the whole theory and right. everything. So I kind of fell off, and I kind of just been, at the same level for a long time. But it's cool, it helps me write. It helps me if I need a release. I just, can play a little bitty. But I really want to start, playing around more. I know lately I've kind of been on the guitar a little bit, which I've been playing for like only 2 years. And just writing from. So I'm still pretty elementary when it comes to those instruments, but I definitely want to experiment more with that because I feel it's very important to have more than just one vein of a release, especially if you're like just a music lover. It's awesome to be able to exert that passion for the music in different ways other than just vocally. Right. So that's where I am with that.
You said you had an infatuation with it early on, but at what age did you absolutely know that, this is what I'm going to do with my life? Is this what you're going to do with your life? I wouldn't want you to do anything else, but maybe this is just an incredible gift you have and you're about to be like an astronaut or something.
I really just want to be an astronaut at one time.
See? There we are.
I was like 4.
So, at what age did you know?
10. Okay, it's a really interesting question. I will say I knew I had a love for music at a young age. I knew I wanted to do something with music. I think when I saw my mom being a teacher, especially like a music teacher, it kind of opened my mind up to doing that. Mm-hmm. As well. So I kind of from the get-go, maybe like elementary school, I kind of knew like I want to do music teaching, teach choir or chorus or something like that. But it wasn't until probably maybe like 15 or 16 that I was like, oh, I think I want to do this for life. Like I just want to do music. Like that's just it. So that's just what I want to do, especially because I was getting more comfortable with myself, I was in the church choir and praise team, and I was like pushed into all these leadership roles in the music department, and I just found myself realizing that, I think it's just deeper than the talent, and I feel like it was kind of destined to be, and that was part of my purpose, just being in the world, spreading music to others.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I knew that you had a background in the church. I didn't know exactly what church, what type of church, but I knew you had a background in the church, and I've always wondered because I think one of the main reasons people love you is because your tone is so soft and so airy. And I've always wondered if you ever struggled with that and blending that into the black church, because a lot of times, I know for me at least, my voice is very light, and I've just came to grips with that and realized that I don't have to sing loud and aggressively. I cannot do that, but that is usually expected in the black church. So were you ever uncomfortable with your voice, or have you always just been totally comfortable with it from the start? Because it is unique.
I started out when I was younger, my family was at a United Methodist church. And so they were a little more conservative than the, kind of Pentecostal era-ish. So, that was fine. Like, I was in the children's choir, and I kind of blended in with everything, and there wasn't a lot of real vigorous church singing. But then when we moved to Atlanta, and I started going to a non-denominational church that had, those Pentecostal roots, and,
right.
and there was more of that, and I found myself just like being kind of overwhelmed. I was either hoarse, like every week I was hoarse. I can remember like going to studio sessions and being like 16 but sounding like I was like 25 because my voice was so deep because I was hoarse from singing at church. And so I realized that it really kind of took a toll on my voice, but I found myself trying to, especially leading praise and worship and having to kind of be, what's the word? The exhorter.
Exhorter, yeah.
Yeah, it took its toll on my voice. And I was like, man, I don't like yelling at people. I don't like screaming at them.
Right.
I'd rather go a different route. And so I guess I kind of noticed that when I would do a worship song or something kind of more relaxed and laid back, that, it really touched people and kind of brought life to the situation. And I realized I didn't have to try to be the hard church singer because my voice can't handle all that.
Right.
Like, I'll be hoarse after singing 2 church songs. So I just had to find that medium, and I had to find my vein and just kind of stick to it. And then from that, like, I realized the music that I write, is for my voice. And so it comes across better, especially the words from my heart. And it's just, I thank God for the ability to write and to be able to express my own self.
Right.
So that it comes across and it translates.
As far as you saying it touching people's lives and all of that, did you ever, this is going to sound like one of those questions that people ask people when they're like at the very top of their career or whatever, but I'm asking this as genuine as I know how. Did you ever think that your music or I always ask people if they've ever heard you minister, because I honestly feel like regardless of what environment I'm in, when you sing, that's how I feel. And so did you ever feel or think that you would have this type of impact on people? Like last night, before he could even get your name out, the whole place was just screaming and clapping. And, did you ever think that it would be like that this quickly?
Okay. I honestly did not know what to think. I knew, honestly, I thought I was going to be a quote-unquote gospel singer at one time. Quote-unquote. I use the quotes loosely because, I have issues about those certain labels, but that's a whole nother interview.
Right.
I was like, okay, God, I know, I realize the gift that you gave me, and I know that you want me to help the world through that. So automatically in my mind, that's okay, you gotta sing gospel music, church music, whatever, that type of thing. So I was ready to do that. And it's so strange because I don't even know how I started. It's like I have this blue thing. I kind of go back and forth, but it's the same thing because I sing at just as many clubs as I do churches.
Right.
But all in all, I'm still singing the same message. Like I feel like I'm still speaking the same life through, what I sing. I think that it kind of transcends, which is really, really cool. And
Absolutely.
I really thank God for just having that because I know it's a gift. Like, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And so I think one show I can remember at Sugar Hill, which the people make the world go round.
I was there. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was there too. So I never in a million years would have thought that at that moment moment, then I would feel that type of impact, especially at a club.
Yeah.
And especially with, I mean, people make the work around, really.
Right.
Like, I didn't even, but the energy, the synergy that I felt in that place, and what I felt was happening, like, to me or through me, was crazy. It's unlike anything that I've ever felt before. And I get the same feeling when I sing or when I'm in a church.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it other than I just yield myself to, you know, the higher power.
Exactly.
And I just kind of go with it, and whatever happens, happens. I don't even know what to say. But to answer your question, no, I didn't really think that I would have this much of an impact, especially this soon in my career. You know, I'm still working from the bottom up and, you know, doing the whole independent scene. So just the response that I've gotten so far has been very, very encouraging and just very, like, you know, it makes everything well worth everything that I've ever had to go through in order to get where I am now, and everything that I will have to go through in order to continue going. It's all worth it, and I'm just grateful.
So are you working on something?
Yes, ma'am, I am. I am working on something. The EP that you have, it's kind of like a promotional EP that I have with me when I go to shows. I don't necessarily sell it online or anything. You can listen to some of those songs on the Reverb Nation site, which is just reverbnation.com/Chantae Cann.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also linked to my Facebook artist page as well. Other than that, and YouTube, I'm kind of just focusing all my energy into this album.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting out as kind of an EP type thing, but it might be extended if I just, you know, like how it turns out. But I'm working with a few people in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's a process because it keeps evolving and changing, and I just want it to be the best representation, you know, that I can give right now, especially, you know, being that I am independent.
Right.
And it's like I have all the creative control, and with that control, you know, comes all the decisions that you have to make and stuff like that. So I am definitely working on it. James Waddell, he's a excellent engineer / producer out of Nashville. He's done stuff for like Israel, Houghton, and Tommy Sims.
Okay.
And McCoy. He's the top of the line as far as engineering is concerned, and he's a dope producer as well. So I think with our combined powers, we can make something happen.
Great. Do you have a projected time, or should I just keep checking back with you? Because I know if I don't ask that, then they're gonna be like, "So you just not gonna ask her when it's coming out?"
Right. I wish I had a projected time. I really do. So we're just gonna let I'm gonna let the Lord drop it in your spirit.
Amen. Somebody. Amen. And somebody. Okay.
No, it's a work in progress.
I absolutely understand. But in the meantime, they can go to reverbnation.com/Chantae Cann and kind of hear some of the songs on the EP that I have that has not stopped playing in my car since I got it. Even though I know all of those songs.
Right, like you guys are acting like that was so nice. Like, you guys have heard all of those before. I appreciate it though.
But what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go home and my sister and my friends are all gonna steal it. Because that's usually the thing. Like, you don't have a CD or nothing, so all people are doing are watching YouTube videos over and over and over again. Like, that is not the move.
I know. I'm trying to move on up in this world.
Yeah, we gonna get something out there for the people, to enjoy. And one question I always like to ask artists when I interview them: who is Chantae listening to right now? Like, we want to put you in our CD player and iPods, but who do you like? What's your jam right now? What artist are you really feeling right now?
Oh who am I feeling? Some of everybody, obviously. I'm kind of backwards when it comes to listening to music because like when new artists come out, I kind of like to let the hype die down just a little bit so I can feel like I'm liking the person because I want to like them, not because I'm jumping on the bandwagon.
Right. Tell us some people who you think that I don't know if you keep up with my blog, but I like to introduce artists who I feel like my readers probably don't know about, or because I do too love all genres, or hate to say even genres, but all types of music. Okay. So tell us somebody who you think we don't know about.
Okay. I will tell you about this group. It's a female-male duo called Pamplemousse. I'm not sure if you are familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're awesome. That's all I can say. They just do straight covers of stuff.
Really?
And they're originals, but the way they do their video is really, really cool. They take songs that, you probably would not think of just being flipped like that, and they just totally go left with it. But it's not too far left where you can't get with it.
Okay.
So, Pamplemousse.
Okay, you're gonna have to text me that or something so that I can type it out.
I think it's Pamplamoose, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that.
Okay, we're gonna check them out.
Check them out. Another guy, he's a writer, a producer. I think he should do the artist thing. His name is Alvin Love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
No, I'm not, but I will become familiar with him.
Yes. He's really nice as well. He has some music on iTunes. Who else? Who else am I feeling? I don't know. I love Anthony David, but, he's definitely getting a lot of shine right now, which I appreciate.
Yeah, love Anthony.
So I can't think of anybody else.
That's a hard question for anybody to answer, so you actually gave a couple, so we'll take it. We will take it. Alrighty. Well, ReverbNation.com/Chantae Cann. Your Twitter is @Chantae Cann, right?
Mm-hmm.
Facebook they can find you with Chantae Cann as well.
Definitely.
Any shows or anything coming up you'd like to share with us?
Is there anything coming up? I believe the next couple things are going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. As far as Atlanta is concerned, I have no idea.
I'm sure we are so spoiled with you here. That's the problem.
Wait, okay, the Cat's Cafe is on April, I want to say the 22nd. If that's a Friday, then I'm correct. Okay. I'm going to have to text you on that.
Okay. Well, I will definitely keep everybody updated. If she has an event on April 22nd, I will verify it. And let you all know. Well, I don't want to hold you any longer. It has been so much fun getting to know you a little more. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was my honor, my pleasure.
Well, that's it, baby cakes. Thanks again to you, Chantae. And as promised, here is The Light by Chantae Cann.
On and on we go. Where we'll stop, no one knows. Searching for the love we long to have, on a quest for happiness. When will we find what's left? inside. The truth is in the light. Near, far, or deep, or wide, a hopeless expedition for true life. Tell me, when will we realize the light that lies inside of you and I? When will we find what's been left behind? What's been left behind? Tragedy inside. Truth is in the light. Truth is in the light. When will we find what's been left behind? Tragedy deep inside. Oh, the truth is in the light. It's where it is. Find it in your life. It's right there in your life. You don't have to search no further. No. Right there it is. Right there it is. Oh, when will we find what's left behind? Treasure deep inside. So the truth is in the light. But if you're like the sunshine, it doesn't always have to be daylight. If you're like the sunshine, it doesn't always have to be daylight. Lord, sunshine, whoa, doesn't always have to be daylight. No, if you're looking for sunshine, whoa, it doesn't always have to be daylight. If you're looking for sunshine, oh, it doesn't always have to be. No, if you're looking sunshine, oh, it doesn't always have to be. No, 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 no. If you're looking for sunshine, just open your eyes. The truth is in the light. Wow, doesn't always have to be light. No, oh, said it doesn't always have to be daylight. So on and on and on we go.